This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to.
Salve, be well.
Pay more attention, brother.
This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation. Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren. And above us monks are the prior and the circators, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict.
The rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitous. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too will learn how. And that's all. Today you are still free from duty, but tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We'll be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lucas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn here. Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's not much to tell. I lived in Vlashim, and after my father died, I found out I wasn't much of a merchant. So I left the shop to my brother and decided to become a monk. It's peaceful here. There's food and lots of time to read.
So you chose to come here?
It may seem strange, but I'm one of the few novices that did. I might be the only one. The truth is, the idea of spending my life in a monastery was more appealing than being cooped up in a greasy old shop.
I'd like to ask you, who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter. And soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. Are there any rifts between the brothers?
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot, it's been like a hornet's nest here. Strange you haven't noticed.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
Abbot Peter is old. When he dies, they'll have to select a new abbot from amongst the brethren. The candidates are John and Nevlas. And if you ask me for my opinion, Nevlas is definitely the right man. Unfortunately, no one cares about my opinion because novices get no say.
Tell me something about life here.
Work, prayer, as if you didn't know. We serve God, and that's the central truth of our lives.
I'd like to ask you something about... What are the roles of the various monks here?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who'll make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly.
It occurred to me you might be the man to ask.
I'm looking...
Lockpicks? You surprise me, brother. And you, a nobleman's...
Who would you choose as the...
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to...
Talk to me, brother.
I'd like to ask... Who's in charge of things?
Oh, Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but...
And what happens when the old...
Well, then we elect it.
Are there any candidates to be the...
Yes, there are. Brothers John and Nevlas. On one side are brothers who'd like to see John as abbot, on the other, those who support Nevlas.
Tell me about John.
John is Cicator and the oldest brother here. It would be only natural if he took the crozier from Peter. He has experience.
I'd like to know about Nevlas.
Nevlas manages the monastery's properties. He doesn't have the most experience, but he's... Although perhaps he's too keen to change our routine.
Why does it matter so much who wins?
Because the future direction of the monastery hangs in the balance. The older brothers take a different view. They say the younger monks want privilege they have.
I thought politics weren't part of the monastic way of life.
You're right. But we know nothing's besides the...
Are there ever any disagreements between the...
Unfortunately, yes. The biggest quarrel...
Tell me something...
Well, the old abbot is practically on his deathbed. There are two candidates.
What can you tell me...
And what can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yorick is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a...
Can you leave?
Where would you go? You've everything you need here.
Who would you like to be the new abbot?
Brother John, obviously. No one's in...
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
I'm interested in the other novices. Do you know anything about Antonius?
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my...
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
Who would you vote?
Why do you care? We don't have the right...
I'm just interested.
I like John better. But like I've said, it's not our place to get involved. It's enough that Antonius...
I'd like to ask... I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want...
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much.
Do you know anything about Yodok?
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the circators.
Say he won't make it to the autumn.
You really don't know anything about anyone?
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
Only a new abbot can bring that.
I'd like to know...
I don't...
Tell me about
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
I
mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name...
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walk through the monastery.
Infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no...
I'd like to ask...
these days. But they'll learn. We were no different.
Will you tell...
I
I mean, where you're...
I'm...
Come on.
I could... What has been...
I remember back when we ate like kings. And the wine. Those were the days. Why such haste?
My name's Gregor, a novice.
You can call me Siskin. Now, are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although, it's not important. Welcome to Purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka of Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me, in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing.
And a rush to pray?
If it had come to that after my father's death, so be it. But to get rid of me while he's still alive...
They must have realized you robbed them.
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I came in, just to piss them off. I can just see my brother.
And you stashed away the remains?
Indeed so.
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit.
That's all I wanted.
Please, keep it to yourself.
How is it that you don't get any penance for missing morning prayers?
I've paid off the circators to turn a blind eye. And the other monks don't notice as long as you show your face there from time to time. No one's too awake at that time of the morning.
I'd be interested to hear what you... Tell me about Antonius.
Well, if there was a monk I'd recommend as a friend, with, of course, the exception of myself, it would be Antonius.
I'm interested in Yodok.
What could interest you about him? He's a no-good rat. He'll turn you in for the price of a turnip. I'd bet my life that if he wasn't here...
That doesn't sound too flattering.
It wasn't meant to. No matter what you do here, watch out for...
What can you tell me about Lucas?
It's a tricky situation with Lucas. No one really knows anything about him. I've tried...
That's all. Who would you...
Most likely Nevlas. He's a fine fellow and he seems honest. A monastery will still be a monastery, no matter who's in charge. If you really wanted to...
Today's food.
Watch your step. Pay more attention.
I'm Gregor, and I'm new.
I know. I saw you in the church during the ceremony.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and
When it's not the...
then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly you won't require...
About you and...
Ask me anything you...
Tell me something about...
Nevertheless is weak and toothless. He's full of hot hair. How anyone could think he'd make a...
I'd like to know...
Well, the young brothers feel they don't have the same rights and responsibilities as we. Nevertheless is lying when he says he wants to right wrongs. All he cares about are the benefits for him.
I'd like to help you.
I'm convinced Nevertheless must have done something that would greatly damage him if everyone found out.
So, I should dig something up on him and tell you about it?
Exactly. But I doubt you'll have any luck. Nevertheless is too cunning and careful to give anything away.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't seem right to me.
He who aids a sinner sins himself. I shall pray for...
Thank you for answering. I'd like to...
It's a mystery, but one that'll soon be solved. It's a wonder that pride doesn't check everyone's breath in the morning.
God be with you.
Then he'd soon get his man.
Talk to me.
I'm interested. What can you tell?
Oh, he's always got a smile on the new friend. But I reckon he don't belong in. I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown out already.
Sounds like you don't have...
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Believe me, Gregor. He's hiding.
I'm interested in Lucas.
Nobody knows much about Lucas. He keeps himself to himself. If you...
Do you have any grounds?
Quite a lot. And also none at all. The circuitous who make the rounds despise him, and they'd never punish anyone without cause.
Watch your step, brother.
Why are you raking me? Go away.
Watch your step, brother.
Can't you see?
Watch your step, brother.
Watch your step, brother.
Power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching. Talk to me, brother.
Is it possible to learn something about the...
Only the abbot and the prior.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his...
Is there anything I can do?
I'm glad you asked. There's one thing, a silly thing, but not long ago, a brother brought me a crumpled piece of parchment. He says he found it rolled up in a hole in the wall. The thing...
Ovid? What is that?
Not what, but who? Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a...
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will...
Good.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can...
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages...
I'd like to... Can you tell me something about...
Ha! 7 centuries ago, Saint Benedict of Nursia wrote a collect... The fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer.
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue, and the grass is...
The Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, the fear of hell, the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the Spirit, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart...
I'd like to know some...
I don't...
What can you tell me about...
Not a lot. I don't know him. Actually, I...
Are you joking? Don't you know...
Why should I?
I'd have thought you might want to...
Don't get upset. I'm sorry,
Will you tell me...
I mean, where you... I'm...
Come on.
What has been...
That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that
Gregor.
war is committed.
I'd like to ask...
Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one who finds better in works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as
What do you desire?
Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Silence, the well-disposed...
Ah, Gregor.
I'd be interested... What can you tell me about...
That there's no man alive less suitable for the monastic...
You don't know young Lord Capon.
I've heard things. Siskin must have been like him, fighting.
Why is he in the monastery?
No one knows. Maybe he's hiding from something. Or maybe he's being punished.
Do you think he has a secret?
Don't we all? But unlike the others, he absolutely refuses to speak about his life before the monastery.
That's all I wanted. What about Yodok?
Be on good terms with him. If you show even the slightest hint you don't like him, he's a slimy little pedant who'll rat you out to the superiors. Once he finishes his novitiate,
I'm interested in Lucas.
No one knows much about him. He doesn't talk to anyone. He works. It's as if he wanted to get it all over with as soon as...
That's all.
For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape...
What is it?
And in another place...
I'm interested...
Death and life are in
What can you... Oh, he's always got a smile on the new friend. I'm surprised...
The disciples' part is to be silent.
God be with you. Be well.
For that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humble and kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are...
What are you doing, Red?
Pay more attention,
Why,
brother.
son? What's your slip?
Why such haste?
In a rush to pray?
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Neblis, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. Concoct 2 bucks. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know. Talk to me, bro.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm the provost of this monastery. It's my job to ensure the monk, but in reality, I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new...
I'm interested in...
You're not alone. Everyone's so worked up about that, they spent no...
Why? What's wrong with it now?
Many brothers think more about their stomachs than prayer. The older brethren bend the rules of the order to make them fit their interests. So, to balance the scales, they want the novices to lead...
What sins are you talking about?
The scripture says, "Let he who is without sin come." I'm sorry, Gregor, it's not my place to speak about the sins of others.
Tell me something about...
A new abbot has to be elected once the old one dies. All the brethren can vote, with the exception of novices. The abbot's crows. When he becomes abbot, a monk spends most of his time dealing with politics outside the monastery, instead of actually leading the monastery.
Can you tell me about Abbot Peter?
Peter's wise in the ways of politics and a good shepherd, but as you've already heard, he's old and infirm. But you, brother, don't let yourself get involved in the games of your...
With what?
I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old people...
You can count on my help. What do you need me to do?
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now you know, I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, the cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library. But it will certainly be amongst the
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic practices, witchcraft and all manner of evil. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book was the work of a Saracen devil.
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. You'll easily recognize what you're looking for. The cover has not only no one will notice if one book disappears, but if more were to vanish, someone would certainly begin to look.
Is there anything you can tell me that would help?
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one, or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you...
Why can't you do it?
Because I'm one of the highest ranking...
You could just ask for...
Do you honestly...
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. They say Brother Solarius understands locks, but don't tell him why you need it. Once you have the book, we'll soon have the election of the abbot over.
Is there any way I could help you get elected? Somehow tip the scales in your favor?
What would you like to do? Climb up the tower?
Not exactly.
John isn't my opponent, he's my brother. But there is something you could help me with. You must know there's a great deal of...
Should I find out for you what's going on around here?
Let me make this clear. I want to base my candidacy on putting things...
Very good then.
Thank you, brother.
What do you want me to...
I'd be interested to hear about any iniquity in the monastery.
I'd like to ask...
Pay more attention, brother.
The forbidden books must be in the
Get away from
cabinet.
that cabinet. The books that are in there aren't for your eyes to see.
Salve, Domine.
Slow down, brother.
Aha, Gregor.
I'm looking for something.
And what?
I'm looking for
Lock picks?
What's it to you? Do you have?
Peace, brother. There's no. So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you could.
Go away. Novices aren't allowed.
What would you like?
I'm looking for some.
And what?
I'm looking for
Lock pick?
Why such haste?
What's it to you?
Peace, brother. So you heard I'll trade them.
I'd like to discuss.
Well, we.
What about this?
Don't insult.
I... What trouble?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Ah.
Servus.
Why such haste?
Brother, you were somewhere you shouldn't have been. Don't you know your place?
I've had enough of this.
You dare resist punishment?
Yes, but...
You failed to complete your trial period as a novice.
Such haste. Watch your step.
In a rush to pray?
Why such haste? Why such haste?
In a rush to pray?
Pay more attention. Why such haste?
I'm looking for...
And what?
I need to get hold...
Well, I can't.
I'm looking...
Lock?
What's it to you?
Peace, bro. So you heard. I'll trade them.
And ruder minds. The abbot should
In a wish to pray?
remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him
What would you
more
like?
is required. Let him make no distinction
I'll
of
be
persons in the monastery.
What can you tell...
Let him not
That there's
love
no-
one more
You-
than another, unless it be one whom he finds
That's all I
in
want.
good works or in obedience.
What about your...
And let
Be-
him not shut
he's a
his
s-
eyes to the faults of offenders.
I'm interested...
But
No one knows-
since
it's
he
as
has
if he-
the authority, let him cut out those
That's all.
faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of silence, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the... Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of silence, the well standing, let him correct with verbal admonition.
Brother.
God be with you.
What would you like?
Aha, Greg.
Pay more attention, brother.
In a rush to pray?
I'm Gregor.
I know.
That means you get...
No, not...
I'm here to...
What? Great.
Tell me about it.
I'm the prophet, but...
I'm interested...
You're not...
Why? What's wrong with...
Many...
Tell me some...
And you, when he...
Can you tell me...
Peter's what? With you?
With what?
I'm interested in medicine, and I know...
You can count.
In order to get... I, however, the cure...
Where can I find...
In the light. No one will know.
Is there any...
There's a key...
Is there anything you can...
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one.
Why can't you do...
Because I'm one of...
You could just ask.
Do you honestly think...
Why are they...
Because it's not...
I'm ready.
One more... They say Brother Solarius understands locks. But don't tell him why. We'll soon have the...
Is there any...
What would you...
Not exactly.
John, but there is something you could help me with. You must...
Should I find...
Let me make...
Very good then.
Thank you, brother.
I'd like to ask...
What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I found this piece of parchment.
I've no idea. Why don't you ask...
What do you desire?
I finished my work.
Show me what you... Spectacular, Gregor.
This looks like the dregs after a night's drinking. Who could be coming here?
Peace be with you, brother.
Talk to me, brother.
I found this piece of parchment.
Ovid? What is that?
Not what, but now I believe if he'd had...
Oh.
Absolutely. I imagine he...
Good.
Thank you, brother.
Where should I look?
If I knew...
I've heard about...
Who told you about...
I've heard there...
That's correct. They're here, safely.
What if...
You could not. They are libri prohibit.
Not even if I were to beg? Or promise a favour in return?
If you could...
Could a book be prohibited by mistake? Maybe a good...
No errors are made. Every book on the
How does a book get on the...
forbidden work.
I don't need to hear anything. I found a few...
Wonderful. Keep...
Is it possible to...
Only the abbot and...
And can I see them?
No.
I'd like to...
Slow down, brother.
Pay more attention, brother.
The forbidden
Don't
books
even look
must
at
be
that
in that
cabinet.
cabinet.
It contains forbidden books. Get away from our cabinet. The books stored in there aren't for your eyes to see.
What do you...
Pay more attention, brother. Pay more attention. Pay more attention, brother.
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you...
I definitely was there. I did come a little late.
Really? Fine then. This time...
Pay more attention, brother.
Praise be to...
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll... I can hardly believe it. What troubles you?
Don't even look at that cabinet. It contains forbidden books.
rush to pray? What's your step, brother?
Slow down.
Why such haste?
In a rush to pray?
Pay more attention. In a rush to pray?
Why such haste? Watch your step, brother.
What's your step, brother?
Slow down, brother.
Can't you see we're at Mass?
Pay more attention, brother.
In a rush to pray?
Slow down, brother. Watch your step, brother. Can't you see we're at... Pay more attention, brother. What's the meaning of this? Have you been possessed by an evil spirit?
Rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another
Brother?
death and life are in
Stealing is a sin. You should know that as a Christian, and certainly as a monk. Even if...
Very well, brother.
Now, show me what you have on you. I'm... Peace be with you, brother. And what is it, brother?
In a
Why
rush
such
to
haste?
pray?
What's your step? Pay more attention, brother. What's your step, brother?
Why such haste? What's your step? Why such haste?
In a wish to pray?
This is not a...
Why such
In a
wish
wish
to pray?
Slow down, brother.
Slow down, brother. Why such haste?
After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence. Or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none ere be said rather early. Brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot.
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be...
I was feeling a bit queasy.
Really? This time I...
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
Get away from my cabinet. The book stood in there out for your eyes to see.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Well, probably the same as you. I want to be able to read in peace and quiet.
What exactly do you read here?
Well, I'd be interested to find the unofficial biography of Saint Procopius, but there probably is no... But if that locked cabinet there with all the forbidden... Until recently it was still unlocked, but after something vanished they've kept...
Maybe I could get inside.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I'd love to pore over some...
We'll see what I can do.
You've seen us drinking here, so either join in or swear you won't tell a soul. You wouldn't want to end up like Lucas now, would you?
All right. I wouldn't mind some wine.
That's more like it. Sit down and have a drink, my lad. Brother, where were you during Mass? Don't tell me you didn't know that...
I had other affairs that needed to be attended to immediately. It will never happen again.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you. But, brother... Brother Cyril mentioned that you didn't submit your parchment.
You're right, brother.
This is your first warning. Quite right, brother. Just sit down and drink with us. When the wine
Salve,
runs
Dominic.
out, Yorick will fetch more. What troubles you?
What are you doing here?
What does it look like? Drinking.
But we're all monks.
Youngster, when you're as old as I, you'll understand.
But you're the cicators. You're the ones meant to be keeping order here. How can gambling and drinking be a fitting part of a monk's life?
If you really want to know, see for yourself.
All right. Have it your way.
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
You mentioned Yodok. What does he do for you?
Well, nothing much. He's just a little suckling like you. He'll do whatever it takes to stay on our good side. Sometimes we make use of him when there are errands to run.
Where'd you get the wine from? I thought the monastery cellars were guarded.
So they are. But this wine isn't from the monastery. Listen, lad, would you help us out with something? This cask is almost empty and we need a new one. We're a bit old for such exertions, but you, on the other hand...
I'll help you. What do I need to do?
Ha! I knew it! Help Novice Yorick arrange for a new cask. Talk to him first thing in the morning, and by tomorrow night, the cask can be on the table.
All right, I'll talk to him. Let's play!
Just the man we've been...
Ah, down the hatch.
Every gulp a treat, isn't that the truth?
No wonder. With our throats going dry all day.
Next time we'll get Yorick. Right.
Ah, this looks like the Saracen language. Ibn al-Hassan. That's who I'm looking for. Avicenna.
No, clear off. Let me sleep.
Brother, stealing is a...
I've had enough.
You dare resist punishment? Let me...
I apologize.
Now, show me what you have on you.
one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Silence, the world
What do you
disposed
desire?
to those of good understanding, let him correct with
Here's the book you wanted.
the first and second time.
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the... There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one. Is there anything I can do for you?
Corrected with words. And again, beat your son with
I'd be interested in...
and you will deliver.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only... They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book. But you'll never get your hands...
Thanks.
No, thank you. About that book. Don't even think about breaking...
Nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell...
I've discovered something about the rock.
I see.
As soon as anything has been ordered by the superior...
The circators go into the cellar at night to drink wine.
I thought so. John always reeks of it. And he wants to be abbot. Hypocrite.
Brother Yodok has been stealing wine for the...
Yodok? Well, that...
I don't know, unfortunately.
No matter. You've brought me...
That's all I know.
If you find out anything else, come to me.
For if the
I'd be...
disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murdered.
In a rush to pray?
And far from gaining a reward for such work...
What's your step, brother? Talk to me, brother.
I was talking last night with the brother Secators.
Hey, well...
Look, brother, I don't like what's going on.
Just imagine you're a fresh novice, and some elder brother offers you friendship and asks you to do him a service.
A monk who steals wine so other monks can get drunk.
The Circator brothers are exemplary monks. Just tell me, how would you have acted? Would you rather have the Circators as friends?
I choose their...
In which case, the brother Circators need another cask. They finished the first one already.
I'll help you.
To get hold of the wine, we'll have to leave the monastery for a bit. If wine started going missing here, someone would notice. But to leave the monastery, we need the keys.
Wait a moment. Are you saying I'm supposed to steal the prior's key?
You see why I don't want to do it myself now, do you? I don't have what it takes. I can't get the...
But you've done it once before, haven't you?
Last time the prior was sick, and he left the monastery keys in the Circator's care. So...
If you told me...
But you promised. You can't leave me in the lurch like this. You can't.
And yet here I am.
What am I to do?
Proud and disobedient characters, he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily
What would you like?
Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold.
What would you like?
That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his word.
In the middle of the night.
How marvellous. Did you join in?
More Siskian?
If the Circators can...
That's not how it works, though, is it?
I know. A double standard. The
abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Silence, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition.
Slow down. Pay more attention. Watch your step, brother.
Pay more attention, brother.
Ah.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I want you to prepare. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby.
I've read one of the manuscripts copied by one of the novices. I think I'm going to cry.
It's that touching, is it?
Touching? More like infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no respect for writing these days.
But they'll learn. We were no different.
What trouble?
I finished my work.
Show me what you... Spectacular, Gregor. In a rush to pray?
Praise be to...
Praise be to Christ.
What is it, brother?
I'm here to work.
Excellent.
Watch your step, brother.
My boy.
Praise be to our Lord.
Pay more attention, brother.
The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called.
Why such
In a rush to pray? What's your... Pay more attention, brother.
From him, more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another. Unless
pull
it
those
be one
idlers by the ears.
finds better
What have they
in
done
good
to you
works
this time,
or in
brother?
obedience.
They're shirking their
And let him
responsibilities,
not shut his eyes
leaving
to the
us,
faults of
their
offenders,
superiors, to chase
but
around after
since he has the
finishing what
authority,
they
let him
don't.
cut out
Did you have
those
to finish
faults by the
someone's
roots
weeding in the
as
garden
soon
again?
as they begin to
again.
appear.
I've had enough of it.
Remembering the fate of Heli, the
Slow
priest
down,
of silence.
In a rush.
The well disposed
Slow
down
down,
those
brother.
of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud,
I'm
and
telling you,
disobedient characters.
someone's been creeping
you should
around in the
curb
corridor
at the
at
very
night.
beginning of their
What am I
ill-doing
saying
by
creeping?
stripes
He was
and
stomping
other
about like a
bodily
bear.
punishments.
That must have been
Knowing
Brother
that it is
Cicada.
written,
He can't
the fool
sleep.
is
He
not
prays long
corrected with
into the
words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his...
Servus.
Aha, Greg.
Brother, I've a favor to ask. And
I see, so it's the...
Well, yes.
That won't be easy, I can tell you that straight off.
How could I get hold...
With great difficulty.
Could you take the...
Rob the prior?
You wouldn't be doing...
Then what could you possibly pay me? I'm done with my thieves.
How much would you want?
A princely sum, brother.
That much? Where am I supposed to find that much coin?
Precisely. But no groschen, no theft.
In a rush to pray?
What's your step?
Pay more attention,
In a rush to pray?
brother. Talk to me, brother. Why such haste? Slow down, brother. Why such haste?
In a rush to pray? Why such haste?
Pay more attention, brother.
In a rush to... Pay more attention, brother.
Slow down, brother.
What troubles you?
I'm still curious.
It's no big, terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean...
What kind of a book is it?
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have... It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond... Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables.
Oh. I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say.
Ah, prejudice. But you're right. It is prohibited.
If it wasn't harmful...
That's a rather limited view of the world. Some write about the saints. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid...
I'll tell the abbot. I'm sure he'll be keen to hear what the...
What? A man pours his heart out to you when you play Judas. What would you like?
I'm still...
It's no big, terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise.
I'll leave you be.
Thank you. And please, Gregor.
Slow down, brother. Slow down. Pay more attention, brother.
I'm a new brother, a novice, Gregor.
Welcome amongst us. Yes, yes. The Lord wanted me to take over the abbot's duties in his absence, but how do you like it here?
I don't know yet. Haven't been here long.
Well, you're too humble. I'm sure you must have some opinion.
I've heard you keep record.
Yes, I do. Personal just as it's no one else's business that you deflowered your... What do you desire?
I need to tell you something, but...
Tell me, son.
It's about some of the brothers. At night, when everyone else is asleep...
Are you certain? I had my suspicions, but if it's true, son...
Would you like me to find...
That won't be necessary. I'll question them myself. I can tell when...
The cicators.
The circators? That can't be true. For the love of heaven.
If you go to the cellars at night, you'll see them yourself.
I'll look into it. I most certainly won't tolerate drinking or dice games in the monastery. And if Abbot Peter... Thank you for letting me know, brother. It appears you're an honest and faithful Christian and a true follower of Saint Benedict. The Lord be with you.
You're welcome, Brother Prior.
Ah, Gregor. Talk to me.
I'd like to ask you something.
What have we here? That's it. The book with information about the novices. Interesting. But I still don't know which one of them is pious.
Get away from our cabinet. The book stood in there after yours.
Slow down.
Praise be to Christ.
Pay more attention, brother.
In a rush to pray?
Slow
In a
down.
rush to pray?
Why such haste?
What would you... Pay more attention, brother.
What troubles you? I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief. He had a hand in burning...
You don't say. And who are you to take such...
That's not important.
Why are you telling me this anyway?
Perhaps you could help me find him?
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about the Neuhof incident.
I know.
Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still I don't know.
3. Please, leave me out of it. And no one knows anything about Lucas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And you're... Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get...
I don't think it was him. But please, don't tell us so.
Don't fret, my friend. You'll...
Why such hate? Slow down, brother.
As soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command and cannot delay. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded...
Slow down, brother.
Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to
Slow
God,
down, brother.
who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on the spirit of silence. Let us
So
do
what would you
the
like?
prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humble, kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not...
Pay more attention. Watch your step, brother. Why such haste?
Pay more attention, brother. Slow down, brother. Watch your step, brother.
Slow down, brother.
These novices. They're shirking their responsibilities, leaving us, their superiors, to chase around after them, finishing what they don't.
Praise be.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. Today's task, once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere. Praise be.
I finished my work.
Show me what you... Spectacular, Gregor.
Slow down, brother.
Praise be.
I'm here to work.
Excellent.
Why such haste? Oh, this is quite inexcusable. Slow down. Glory of life everlasting. As soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humble and kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refraining from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words.
Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples.
Things will get
even though
worse.
Good,
Feel it in my joints.
For it is written,
My joints
in much
stopped aching
speech
just
will
before
not
they
escape
raised
sin.
scars. And now they
And in
hurt
another
again.
place,
But worse than
death
last.
and life are in the
Something
power
is
of
going
the
to happen out there.
For speaking and teaching belong
Pay
to
more
the
attention.
master.
In a rush
The
to pray?
disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior,
You've got a strong constitution. Anyone else would have certainly died.
What happened?
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a young boy. He was lost and miserable. He had no future. He was tempted by his friends into doing some foolish things, but he wasn't truly bad, because when it came down to it, he ran away rather than keep doing foolish deeds. His former friends didn't take kindly to that, though, and wanted to punish him. So they sent a hunting dog to find him and rip his throat. The boy wasn't stupid, though, and he knew that the hound was coming. He poisoned some food, and when the hound showed up, he gave it to him. He didn't expect the beast to live, but it did. And all of a sudden, the boy was sorry for what...
It was you that poisoned me.
Don't take it personally. Kill or be killed. You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhoff. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery, I've had plenty of time to...
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. And what exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace.
What if I wanted a different option?
You could kill another novice, I suppose. If news of the murder got out from the monastery, my former friends might believe I'm dead. But I'm offering you a solution that doesn't require any killing. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow, that sort of thing.
What do I need the keys to?
How else will we get out?
Do you mean these?
What? I'm not going to ask you how you got your hands on those, you devious lad.
And where am I supposed to get my hands on blood in a monastery?
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it, all the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list, and when it's delivered the next day...
All right, that's everything I need to know.
Excellent. Come and see me once you have everything. And Gregor...
That would sound more sincere if you hadn't just...
That's why I'm thanking you. For being so reasonable despite what I did. For what it's worth...
Peace be with you, brother.
Pay more attention, brother.
Pay more
In a rush to
attention,
pray?
brother.
What do you want, brother?
You should go away. Novices aren't allowed here.
The glory of life everlasting. As soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But
Gregor.
necessary obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to
I have every...
only
Excellent.
what is commanded
Straight after Vespers, we'll meet in the dormitory. We'll have to get it...
What exactly is your plan? And why can't we do it at...
We're going to prepare a little riddle they'll never solve. And why at mealtime? Because we need the dormitory as well as the church. Take everything with you and don't...
Good. Once evening mass ends, I'll...
Then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God. Is murmuring, and far from gaining a... Incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, in the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples. one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in his works.
What do you desire?
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I want you to prepare. Once you finish...
Well disposed to those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death.
What would you...
I finished my...
Show me what you... Spectacular.
Peace be with you, brother.
Talk to me.
I'm here to work.
Excellent.
Oh, this is quite inexcusable, boy.
Slow down. Pay more attention, brother.
Why? What's your step, brother? You were somewhere you shouldn't have been. Don't you know your place?
Very well.
Now, show me what you have on you. I must...
God be with you.
Halt! Brother, what are you doing here?
I was feeling a bit...
Really? This time, brother. Brother Cyril...
Calm now, bro. You know very well that monks can't survive.
I'll pretend nothing happened.
Servants,
such haste?
God be with you.
Praise be to God. For a moment there, I was worried you weren't...
Why such haste? Why such haste?
And here's where you dragged my lifeless body.
Watch your step, brother. In a rush to pray? Watch your step, brother. Watch your step, brother. Thank you for helping me out. Now we must each go our own way.
Well, I can't just let you leave. You're a criminal.
What are you on about? Did you really help me escape?
I'm truly sorry. But you were there at the Neuhof massacre, and you're a...
Gregor, you can't be serious. I won't be taken anywhere.
I'll slaughter you! Is that the best you can do?
This is one of the men who raised Neuhof. He should be able to tell you something useful. But I need to ask a favor. I need you to keep him out of sight so his accomplices don't know he's been caught.
Fine work. And I'll do as you say. I'll find a deep, dark hiding, and while we're at it, I'll have your things brought here.
Picked today to put a smile on your face.